In this video, we'll be going over negative numbers. Now, before we try to understand the concept of negative numbers, let's go over something that we're familiar with. So let's start off with basic subtraction. If we were to have 5 lemons, and we give away 3 lemons, well, 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. And if we were to give away more lemons, 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. And if we were to give away all of our lemons, 5 minus 5 is equal to 0. Now what happens if we were to subtract a smaller quantity by a larger quantity? Now we're starting to understand the concept of negative numbers. And what negative numbers are numbers that are worth less than 0. Now while we want to talk about negative numbers, don't forget that we also want to talk about positive numbers. Positive numbers are numbers that are worth more than 0, which we have more than nothing, and negative numbers are worth less than 0. Now wait a minute, if I were to have 0 lemons, how can I have less than nothing? Well, we use numbers to count or to measure length or distance, but we can also use numbers as a way to say if we were to gain points or to lose points, or we could say we could be moving above or below a certain point, which on a scale we have a starting point in which we want to label as 1, and on the scale we can move up or we can move down. So to start off with a basic example, let's imagine we are in a hotel, a fancy hotel in which part of the hotel is above sea level and part of the hotel is below sea level. So at the starting point when we went to the lobby and we're not above sea level or we're not below sea level, we're just at the benchmark 0. And now looking at our scale over here, say if we wanted to move to the first floor, we are 10 meters above sea level. And if we want to go 20 meters more, then we are 30 meters above sea level. Or if we decided to go below sea level and we want to see the wildlife or we want to see the ocean, then we could say we are minus 10 meters below sea level, and we can go down further to minus 30 meters below sea level. So notice how I was using the addition sign, and notice how I was using the addition sign to indicate that we're moving up, and we use the minus sign if we were to move down. Now in some scenarios, it is not necessary to put on the addition symbol in front of the number. As convenient, if we were to have 3 lemons, we just write down the number 3. But if we were to gain 3 points, that's a different conversation. So let's say we try to measure temperature. Now, we could measure temperature in either Fahrenheit, Celsius, or Kelvin. So, our starting point, let's measure in Celsius as a convenient. So 0 degrees Celsius is the freezing point in which water is about to freeze and turn into ice. And it could get warmer than that. It could it could be as warm as 10 degrees Celsius. It could be as warm as 20 degrees Celsius. Or 30. Or up into the boiling point in which water boils. So 100 degrees Celsius. I cannot draw today. So 100 degrees Celsius is the point in which water is about to be boiling. But if we were at higher elevation, it would have been boiled like at probably 96 or something like that. But we consider 100 degrees Celsius is the boiling point. And notice it is inconvenient to write down the addition sign because it is more convenient to use positive numbers without the addition symbol. Now, could it get colder than 0 degrees Celsius? Could even get colder than 0 degrees Fahrenheit as well? And the answer is yes. We could go below 0 degrees Celsius, and because we are going below the zero mark, we want to write down the negative symbol, say negative degrees Celsius. We can go down further. Whoops. Say we can even go down as far as 40 degrees Celsius as well, or heck, even 100 degrees Celsius. Well, I mean, sorry, even negative 100 degrees Celsius. So we have been using negative numbers in terms of moving up or down, above or below the zero mark. But also, we could also use numbers as a way to gain points or to lose points. Now, oh, whoops. Now, let's take. Okay, we will be needing this. Now let's take a look at our expressions and see any similarities or any opposites. So 6 minus 5 is equal to 1. 7 minus 5 is equal to 2. And 8 minus 5 is equal to 3. Now, you see any similarities here between these expressions? So if we were to gain points, say we gain 10 points, we use the positive symbol or the plus symbol, or we write down the minus sign as a way that we lose points. So the opposite of gaining 10 points is losing 10 points. The opposite of 6 minus 5 is 5 minus 6. The opposite of 5 minus 8 is 8 minus 5. The opposite of 1 is negative 1. The opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. The opposite of gaining a profit of $10 is losing $10. We could probably see this through using the number line. Now we use number lines as a visual aid to help us understand the values of numbers. So let's say 7 is greater. So not again. So say 7 is greater than 5 and 8 is greater than 7. And as we put our finger on the number line and as we move further to the right, the numbers increase. If we need to use a number, if we were to add more objects into the set, or as we move on to higher heights, then we move further to the right of the number line. But as the numbers go smaller, we move to the left of the number line. So if we were to have 5 lemons and then we have 3 more, 1, 2, 3, plus 3. So then we have 8 lemons. Or if we were to give away 3 lemons, no, wait, let me rewrite that. So 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. But now 5 minus 7, whoops. Now 5 minus 7, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're at negative 2. Now, sure, I did show you about how going above sea level or below sea level, going above or below 0 degrees Celsius, or we can look at this perspective as a more horizontal right-left way. But however, if we want to understand a bit of profit, revenue, expenses, or maybe loaning from the bank, so let's say for one example, say if I were to have hmm, $50 in the bank and I spend $30 to buy a product, well, 50 minus 30 is 20. But then if I wanted to spend all my $50, then I have none. So 50 minus 50, I have nothing in the bank. But what happens if I need more money from the bank? I want to buy something that's worth $80. So, as you see, 50 minus 80 is negative 30. We can probably view this as opposites. So 80 minus 50 is positive 30, while 50 minus 80, the reverse, we would get negative 30. And three scenarios here in the bank. So we could have money in the bank, we could have $20 in the bank, we could have no money in the bank, or we could owe the money, or we could owe the bank $30. And which scenario would you rather be at? So of course, you want to have as much positive value as much as you can in the bank. Having zero probably sucks, but having a negative value is not so good. But would you rather owe the bank $20 or $100? So be careful not to let the greater natural numbers fool you. So sure, 5 is greater than 4, but you would rather owe the bank negative 4 than negative $5. And we can also view this through profit as well. So say if we wanted to sell lemon at a lemonade stand, and then one day we make $20 in one day. However, the place or the land that we're selling at, or we try to sell lemon, the land doesn't belong to us. It belongs to the landlord, and he charges us $10 for the one day that we want to rent. So we got $20 from profit, from revenue, and then we have to pay the landlord $10 in expenses. So 20 minus 10 is so 20 minus 10 is 10. But the reason why I write down the positive sign or the plus sign is because we gain a positive profit. However, if business is going slow, so I only made $5 in one day, and the landlord, I had to pay him $10, so I had to give away whatever I had from that day, and more money from my checking account. Then we have a minus profit, so which means we lost money. We have a negative profit. So there you have it. We use negative numbers as a way to understand. So negative numbers are numbers that are worth less than zero, and we use the negative numbers as a way to show that we are below zero on a scale. So we could be above zero or below zero. We could be to the right or to the left of zero, or we could say that we either gain points or lose points, gain profit or lose profit.